promoted as a tournament for supporters around the globe. But in 2026, many fans believe that dream is becoming harder to reach. Reports of extremely expensive tickets, confusing pricing systems, and limited availability have sparked criticism from football supporters everywhere. In some cases, resale listings for the World Cup final have reached unbelievable prices, with a few seats advertised for millions of dollars. While those listings are rare, they have raised serious questions about whether the biggest football event is still affordable for ordinary fans. The controversy has now attracted the attention of government officials in the United States. Authorities in New York and New Jersey have launched investigations into FIFA's ticketing process, requesting internal records and information about how ticket prices were managed. Their focus is not only on the high prices, but also on whether supporters were given clear and honest information when purchasing their seats. Many fans claim they bought tickets expecting premium views, only to discover that new seating categories were introduced later with even better locations at much higher prices. Some supporters also reported changes to their original seat assignments. Consumer advocates argue that buyers should receive exactly what they paid for without unexpected changes after completing their purchase. As the investigation continues, football fans around the world are watching closely. They hope the answers will reveal whether the ticketing system treated supporters fairly or if major improvements are needed before future tournaments. For millions of people, the World Cup is more than a sporting event. It is a lifelong dream, and they believe that dream should remain within reach. As investigators examined FIFA's ticket sales, another issue quickly came into focus. Many supporters questioned the use of dynamic pricing, a system where ticket costs increase or decrease depending on demand. While this approach is common in the airline and entertainment industries, many football fans felt it was unfair for an event that has always been presented as a celebration for everyone. Over several months, prices for numerous World Cup matches continue to rise, making it increasingly difficult for average supporters to secure affordable seats. Critics argued that the system lacked transparency. Some noticed that official ticket prices remained high even when resale prices on secondary platforms began to fall. This created concerns that fans were not seeing prices that truly reflected market conditions. Consumer groups believe buyers deserve a clear explanation of how ticket costs are determined and whether availability is being accurately represented. Officials are also reviewing claims that new premium seating sections were introduced after many supporters had already purchased their tickets. Fans who believed they had secured some of the best available seats later discovered that newly created premium zones offered even better views at significantly higher prices. Some supporters felt disappointed after learning their original seats were no longer considered the top locations in the stadium. These concerns have transformed what first appeared to be a pricing debate into a broader discussion about fairness, transparency, and consumer rights. As the investigation moves forward, football supporters hope the findings will encourage a ticketing system that is easier to understand and more accessible for everyone. Away from ticket prices, another challenge affected thousands of football supporters before the tournament even began. For fans from several qualified nations, traveling to the United States became extremely difficult because of immigration restrictions and visa-related policies. Many supporters who had dreamed of watching their national teams in person discovered that buying a ticket was no longer their biggest obstacle. Even with the money to attend, reaching the host country proved impossible for some. Human rights organizations and supporter groups also raised concerns about whether every fan would have equal access to the tournament. They questioned if the promises made during the World Cup bidding process had been fully respected. Several reports suggested that some commitments related to accessibility, inclusion, and fan protection still required significant improvement. These discussions expanded the conversation beyond football, focusing on whether a global sporting event should be equally welcoming to supporters from every nation. Supporter organizations across Europe argued that the World Cup belongs to ordinary fans just as much as players and officials. They warned that rising costs and travel barriers risk changing the identity of the competition. For many families, Attending even one match now requires months of savings, making the experience far less accessible than in previous tournaments. Despite these concerns, millions continue to celebrate the excitement on the pitch. Every goal, comeback, and unforgettable moment remind supporters why they love football. Yet many believe that protecting the spirit of the World Cup also means ensuring that loyal fans remain at the heart of the tournament.